with Taylor Acorn. It's lovely to have you.
Hi, thank you so much.
This is your second time back in the country from a tour earlier in the year.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So obviously doing that headline, was that a headline tour?
Yep, so we did some headline shows, yeah.
Yeah. So doing the headline shows versus doing the festival shows, have you noticed much of a difference in terms of the schedule and like how it all kind of breaks down? Like, is it different to an American festival? Like, how's the difference?
I would say that like it's pretty comparable to an American festival. I mean, it's a lot of like you show up and either you're waiting for a few hours to play and you get like that anxious energy, or you show up and it's like right away. But it's all pretty like familiar, but at least here people are like so kind. It's a little bit warmer, I will say that. So.
It's definitely hot today, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Now, when you were kind of initially figuring out your sound, you've kind of obviously gone in this kind of pop punk country sort of vibe.
Yeah.
When you were deciding on what type of music you were going to make, how did you land on that kind of crossover? Because I think it's pretty unique in the space to do the pop punk stuff with a bit more of a country.
Well, I think honestly, I've always been such a fan of pop punk music and pop rock music ever since I was a kid, and so when I started making music initially, I started off as a country artist, I guess you could say, and so I got really familiar with the writing style and the storytelling of country, and but in my heart and soul, I was like, I want to be like Hayley Williams, you know what I mean? I want to go out and I want to like rock out and headbang and have like the same energy from the fans, and so I just think it kind of like morphed into that naturally. I do have like a little bit of a country inflection in my voice, I think, just in general. So it's been really cool to see people enjoying it, though. Like it made me a little nervous because I was like, I don't know if people are gonna, take this as like they're gonna think it's country and not, pop punk enough, or it's pop punk and not country. But yeah, no, it's been really cool. It kind of created my own sound.
Yeah. Is it much of a country scene or whatever in Pennsylvania, or did you have to kind of like, when you decided you wanted to go that route, did you kind of move to Nashville or something like that?
So it's definitely a big country scene out there. We've got a lot of tractors, we've got a lot of farms and things like that, but I had found pop punk music while I was out there, and it was really fun because I felt like I was kind of like the only one who knew about that genre of music. Maybe there was like one or two other kids that were listening to the same thing, but it was definitely very country driven, and so I think that because of that reason, I was kind of pushed into making that style of music. I didn't really know if making rock music or pop punk music would be possible for me, so it just kind of happened that way, yeah.
Oh, that's killer, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of your songs kind of deal, I guess, with, the idea of people having conceptions of you and, like, kind of dealing with the perception of other people. When it comes to songs like, I guess, like bullying and, like, that type of stuff, have there been situations where you've kind of put that into the music?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we wrote the song High Horse on this last record. And honestly, when you're online and your social presence, like, you're going to get people who either really love you or really don't like you, and that's been something that has been like really new to navigate the last couple years, because even when I was a country artist, I felt like I was still small enough to where I was in my own little bubble and everybody was really nice to me, and so when people are commenting negativity or they're saying things about my career or things about me as a person, it was really hard to deal with. And so, writing songs like High Horse, it was very therapeutic for me. And I know that that's something that so many people go through on a daily basis, whether it's at school, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in, social media. So I felt like it was really important to kind of share my experiences as well. And, even when I was in school, I got bullied a lot. So it's something that kind of is natural for me to write about. And so, yeah.
And did the stuff from high school, I guess, too, like, did that kind of impact the writing of what then became High Horse?
Oh, for sure. And especially, too, like, I think what's really interesting and something that I've noticed over the years is that a lot of my bullies enjoy my music now. So hopefully, when they listen to that, they don't feel very attacked. But it is. I'm very familiar with it, and so it was really like easy and therapeutic for me to write.
Yeah, and then with your bullies too, I guess, then enjoying the music and have any reached out and said, "Hey, I'm sorry that I kind of put you through this"?
I don't think they've necessarily said I'm sorry, but they've definitely said like kind things about my music and how they listen to me and things like that, which is kind of cool.
That's cool. Like that's mending bridges. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
exactly.
There's another song that's on the album that I really liked, Psycho.
Yeah.
So that's got an interesting story. How did that all come about?
So, I actually had a friend of mine that I was writing with that day. It was one of our first writes. His name is Spencer Jordan. And he actually came in with the first chorus written. And I remember when I'm very conscious of the things that or try to be very conscious of the things that I say. I obviously don't want to like hurt anybody in my music, or with my words. And so he came in with this concept of kind of like being this aggressive, like, let's just hate on men kind of vibe. And I at that time I was kind of just like, I don't know if that's really the direction that I want to go. I loved it, and I was like, I'll write it. But then, the more that we got into writing this song, I started to really resonate with it because, I've been in a relationship in the past where, you're kind of told, hey, you're crazy, and then come to find out you actually really aren't. The speculations that you had during the relationship are actually true. So I felt like I really resonated with it when we finished, and I just really loved the vibe of it. But I had like a moral, I was like fighting with it morally to put out. I was like, I have this song, I don't know if I'm gonna put it out. I don't know if it's something that I would necessarily say, but then when we started sharing it and people reached out and they were saying how it has helped them and made them feel powerful and leaving toxic relationships and things like that, it kind of gave me the confidence to be able to put it out into the world, and it's been a favorite for a lot of people, which has been really cool.
Yeah. That was the first song that I actually got shown,
no
because
way.
I'm a bit of a metalhead, like a bit more like kind of like that leaning. And my friend who I'm really close with, she was like, this is my favorite singer. Listen to this song. She put it on, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, it's like, well, not crazy, probably not the best word it is, but no, I loved it. And then that's when I started kind of diving a bit deeper and stuff.
Oh, well, glad you like it.
It was very good. So Certified Depressant come out last year, and then obviously you then toured that this year.
Yep.
How was it kind of touring on an EP with a headline tour? Like, was that the only EP that you had out?
Yeah, that was the only one. It was nice because with that, I still had like a couple songs because I had started writing my new album at the time. So I had a few songs that were new that I got to play, but I was really honestly surprised. And I had obviously some old country songs that I was able to throw into the set list as well. But yeah, I don't know, that EP, I think I had enough songs to where I felt confident enough to be able to put on a headlining show, and people are just incredible, and they know all the words, and they sing so loud, and so it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and you played at the zoo too, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So that place is now gone, unfortunately.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
no.
So I think just as you had played it, they had announced that they were selling it, or they weren't renewing the lease or something like that. So that place is unfortunately gone now. So I think you're one of the last people to play it. So.
Well, I feel honored. I feel honored.
Now, Survival in Motion came out this year, obviously the debut record. When it then came to the approach of then putting a record together, like a full record, did you look at it differently to the EP, or like how did you?
For sure. I mean, the EP definitely was curated based off of songs and singles that I'd already put out. When it came to writing the album, it just happened so organically and kind of out of nowhere, to be honest. I had no intentions of writing an album, and I'm an independent artist, so when you're thinking of an album, you think of unfortunately, the finances that go into it. It's expensive to write an album, and so in my brain I was like, I don't know if it's the right time yet. And then I got together with my friend Dan Swank and my friend Emmeline White, who were my co-writers on the entire album, and we wrote the first week of January, and we wrote Survival in Motion first, and I just really loved the direction and the feel of that song. And then the next day we wrote Greener, and then the next day we wrote Nervous System, and it just after the entire week of writing, we put all the songs together and we're like, shoot, this is an album. Yeah. This is a really great piece of work, and I'm really proud of it. And I felt, just the feeling that I had during those writing sessions too, it felt really good, felt really natural. And I think at that time I had sent it to my management and I was like, I think this is the album. And of course they were on board, and we made it work, and I had my first vinyl and everything. So very, very fortunate it happened that way. But yeah, it was definitely a little bit more organically driven than the Certified Depressing EP.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, the album's great. Like,
Thank you.
I love it. Again, not really specifically my type of music,
Yeah.
but I'm putting it on. Like, I can put it on and then by the end of it, I'm like, oh, it's finished. Like,
Yeah.
that's great. Like, sometimes
Thank you.
albums feel like they drag sometimes.
Yeah.
Yours doesn't. It's amazing.
Oh, well, thank you.
One part, though, that I did like, obviously, which does lead into the stuff that I do like, is you did the Stay Emo acoustic EP.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so any plans to maybe do a follow-up?
You know, I've had a lot of questions about that, and I would love to. I think, you know, when I made the decision to kind of take a halt on the covers, I just really wanted to focus on my own artistry and my own music, because I felt like I was kind of falling into she's the emo cover girl, you know what I mean? She's doing the covers, and I actually ran into somebody today who is playing at the festival, and they said, we had your First Date cover in our wedding playlist. It's really cool to be able to like have people reach out and tell me those things, but I would love to again. I have been teetering with the idea, and a lot of people have been requesting that. So maybe soon, maybe I'll like sprinkle in my own music or something within, like make an acoustic EP or something like that. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I mean the Brick by Boring Brick cover is probably my favorite of the
I think that one's my favorite too. Yeah.
Especially too with the Hayley Williams influence, like you were talking about before. Like obviously doing the Paramore cover makes sense.
For sure, yeah.
So that's pretty much all done for me. But one question I'm asking everyone: now that the festival's on its last day, is there anyone here in particular you're looking to go see?
Well, I have been really excited to see From Ashes to New. I'm gonna go see them like right after this.
Yeah.
I'd love to go catch Bowling for Soup. We're gonna be with them for the next 3 days after this for some side shows. So just kind of want to be able to enjoy their show as a fan first. Yeah. And man, I would love to catch Korn. I would really love to catch them now that, you know, we don't have to hop on a flight right after our set.
Yeah, hell yeah. Korn will be awesome. But yeah, no, Bowling for Soup. I think I've got tickets for that, so I think I'll probably be there. But
awesome.
Yeah, that should be a fun show.
Amazing.
But no, thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thank you for having me.
No,
I appreciate it.